Hey, good morning, everybody. For you first-time visitors, people that are watching this channel for the first time today, my name is Brad Varnell, and this is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel, and I'm doing things a little bit different than I normally do on a Monday morning. Obviously, this is being recorded, and so I want all of you to know that I'm going to give you guys an exorbitant amount of information today. I don't expect any of you to probably digest everything that I'm going to talk about in one sitting. And so after this video is over, we're going to separate it into chapters. And I'm really going to try to go about 10 minutes on each area of building a TexitCoin business that I think is going to be extremely valuable to you moving on in the future. But what I really want all of you to know is that I'm going to show you something today that I believe can be totally revolutionary in your financial future, guys. Right now, more than ever, people are hurting out there in the world. People are trying to figure out why in the world they are running out of money before they run out of month. And financial literacy is probably more important than any time in the history of our country, because there's a lot of things going on that the average person doesn't know about. So guys, I'm going to tackle this video today on the assumption that, of course, a bunch of my loyal listeners are here watching. A lot of you that are watching already have TexitCoin miners. But I also understand that there's going to be some people coming in and watching this video that are curious about what in the heck is TexitCoin? What is a TexitCoin miner? And a bunch of people that have never heard of Brad Varnell and Infinite Crypto before. So it's going to be a little bit different than normal too. So with that, let me give those of you that are newer to the channel or maybe seeing me for the very first time, who am I? My name is Brad Varnell. I was raised from a very, very, very young age to not believe in the 40-40-40 plan. So for those of you that wonder what in the heck is the 40-40-40 plan, well, the 40-40-40 plan is when you work for 40 years for somebody else for 40, 50, 60 hours a week to retire, hopefully retire off of 40, 50% of what you weren't really making it on in the first place. Guys, the system that we're under right now, where the system that tells you to go get a good job or go get a good education and then get a good job and work real hard and you'll be successful, that we've been getting, pushed down our throats for the last 100 years, just doesn't work anymore. So I don't believe God put us here on this earth to work for another man or woman for 40 or 50 years of our life, for 40 or 50 hours a week, just to barely exist and to get by and to be financially strapped and nervous and wondering where the money for next month's bills is going to come the whole time we're here on this planet. This is an amazing planet. So much to go see, so much to go do. And do you realize that the average person never gets to see 99% of it? I don't remember the exact statistics, but I was reading somewhere recently that there's a huge percentage of people that never leave their own hometown, their state. Like, can you imagine? Maybe you're one of them, and I'm not dogging on you if you are, but can you imagine living on this planet and never leaving the state that you were born in? Or if you're in another country, never leaving, within a few 100-mile radius of where you were born and raised? That happens with a lot of people, and it kind of surprised me. And so with that, I'm just a guy that loves helping people and that created some financial freedom in my life through this crazy thing that we call cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. I got started in crypto 9-10 years ago and was fortunate enough to invest in some really good projects. And during the last bull run of going into 2021, I was able to make enough money to retire my wife and I. And it hasn't been all roses and tulip blossoms, but we wouldn't trade our life for anything. I'm 52, she's 38. And even like right now, folks, I'm sitting in a hotel room in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I live in Arizona, but we're in Colorado Springs, Colorado because we're trying to have a baby and we're doing a fertility treatment. And this TexitCoin miners and the business opportunity that it presents has allowed us the freedom to be in Colorado for really basically almost a month straight. We were here for 3 weeks, and then we went home for a few days, and now we've been back here for almost 2 weeks. And so I look for opportunities that create freedom. I've been able to make more money sitting in this hotel room in Colorado for the last month and a half than most people make, some in a year, and some, definitely over, 3, 4, 5 months worth of time. I've been able to make more money in the last 30 days than most people make in 3 months to 6 months. And I don't say that to impress you guys. I just say that to impress upon you that the opportunity, if you're willing to roll up your sleeves and really go to work, the opportunity with this TexitCoin miner business and just the passive income from the TexitCoin miners is absolutely unbelievable. How long have we been going here? Almost 11 minutes. So I don't want to talk about myself for too much, but I just want to mention, I started from a very young age, probably 12 to 16 years old, deciding that I didn't want to be an average person, live a traditional, go to work for somebody else for the rest of my life kind of a person. And I spent the next 30 years trying to figure out how to create financial freedom in my life. I'll never forget, my dad taught me when I was pretty young, there's a lot of people that have money. There's a lot of people that have time. Very few people have both. And so in searching for financial freedom, I came across, different companies, different businesses, different investments. I kind of tried it all. And at about 45 years old, 43 years old, I came across cryptocurrency, and it's absolutely changed my life. And so with that, guys, I want to share with you how TexitCoin can potentially change your life. And so let me run over here to my screen share and pop a couple of things open real quick. Good morning, Tim. Hope you are doing fantastic, my friend. Let me do this here real quick. So before I get into the how to build your TexitCoin business, I want to share a little bit more about just the opportunity, the miners, and why, even if you don't have any interest in potentially sharing this with other people, why this can be so incredibly valuable in your life. Did I do this properly? Let me get back over here to my screen and add this to the stage. I apologize for all of the white. I know that it's a little bit hard to see here on the white. Good morning, Bill. How you doing, my friend? I hope you are doing fantastic. Guys, I've told a few of you about Bill. Bill is an incredible businessman. In fact, I'm going to segue here real quick, but Bill has had amazing success in life. And Bill is one of the kind of guys that a lot of you, if you knew him, would be what I would call like on your chicken list. You would assume that Bill has been so successful in his life that he might not be interested in something like TexitCoin. But I'm here to tell you that not only did Bill get excited about TexitCoin and jump in and really, he's already up to about 20 miners. That's from, coming in with the 9-pack and getting 2 free. But he's also earned, I think it's 8 or 9 more miners for free. I think he's closing in on almost 20 miners because he really caught the vision and started sharing this with his network very, very quickly. In fact, I think Bill jumped in originally on a Saturday And the following Monday, he enrolled 3 people. And now at this point, in just the last 3 weeks or so, he's enrolled a total of about 8 or 9 people, and just going strong. But my point is, Bill is the type of person that a lot of you, if you knew him, might be scared to talk to about TexitCoin. You would think, man, he's not going to be interested. And that's when I get to the building of your business part, that's going to be an important part of what we talk about. But Bill, congratulations. Thanks for being here, man. And you are absolutely killing it, man. And I appreciate you. So this is my TexitCoin back office. And what I want to share really quick here is not this portion of it. So let me get over here and go more to the overview. So one of the things that I want to point out here is we have $139 million that has come into the company, and we're at 55,000 miners. And on this home page, you can see just about everything that you want to see when it comes to TexitCoin. It's fully transparent. They show us where every dollar is going. We can see the mine growing. We can see, like, this is the revenue and commission that they are paying out. But one of the things that I want to share with you guys here is towards the bottom here, we can see, like, on 12/7, we had 105,000 shared TexitCoin. On the 6th, it was 92,000. On the 5th, it was 86,000. So you can see that this fluctuates. But if we go here to the reward page, this will show every single day, once you have purchased a miner, you'll be able to see the total number of TXC token that is getting shared and how many TXC tokens you are getting. So here the last couple of days, I've been getting a little over 15. Some of the lower days, it was down around 12. But one of the amazing things about this project, guys, is that you can buy a miner and then just sit back and enjoy the passivity, the total passive income that just comes in from the miners. You don't actually have to own a mining rig. You don't buy a TexitCoin miner and then they ship it to your home and you have to try to hook it up and, you know, put it into your computer and try to keep it cool. The company does all that for you. Bobby Gray and the company at TexitCoin Miners take care of all of that work. These mines are being built out in Texas, all over Texas, and then they have plans to decentralize it even further by moving it into Florida and all over the world as this thing grows. Guys, we're pretty new. This project has been around for a little over a year, maybe a year and a half, but the beginning of it was just laying the foundation, but we're really starting to build some momentum now. So for those of you that don't know if you're interested in building the business, I recommend that you stick around a little bit and let me, kind of walk you through my process and how I have taken this and why I believe this can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars to you potentially. And while I'm talking about that, I'm going to try to pull something up here real quick. Oh, that's right. I'm not logged in on Facebook here, so that's not going to work. I wonder, did I post it? Let me see here, folks. I apologize. Sometimes it's hard to be totally prepared for everything that's going to come along, and we don't really let me see if I can pull this up super quick. I think this is a really good let's see here. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's not there. Yep. It happens to me every time. Did I put it here? There we go. I'm not sure. I'm going to copy this. Let me copy this here real quick. Oh, it's not letting me copy it. I'm just going to play this for everybody. Hopefully you can hear it, and then I'll explain what he's talking about.
What will happen is that when this mine is built and the seeds are gone, the mine will continue operating for probably about another 135 years. And the mine will continue to pay out for another 135 years. So suppose you get the last seed on the rocket ship, and we're able to take this coin to 16, which I think is pretty easy. I've already painted the picture. But suppose we take this in 16, you get the last seed on the rocket, you can't acquire any more hash power because it's sold out. The mine will give you $1.60 per day, plus or minus, for the rest of your life. Now, $1.60 a day is not a lot. For the rest of your life might be a long time. And so there will be an upside in there for you. You know, if you take the $1,000 that you use to buy that last seed on the rocket and divide it by $1.60, you'll get your money back in about 625 days. Not the best ROI you've ever heard of, but hey, not bad. Okay, well, let's talk about two things real quick. Number one, we're not going to 16. 16 is the starting line. 16 is the end of the beginning for us. 16 is that we proved out our concept. 16 is we built the mine. And with the million seats sold and the 100 million mega hash and the $200 million of marketing promotion money and the $100 million of liquidity that we're building up as we get towards that starting line, we call ourselves $1 billion coin, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be very easy to hold it there with everything we've got going for us, the community, the mine, everything else. Easy. Foregone conclusion at this point. Guaranteed. Let's not use those words. But the point is we know where we're going. But where we're going is just the starting line. So I want you to understand that it's extremely important to me and very true that I have not just a plan for us to go from 0 to 16, but I also have a plan for us to go from 16 to 100, and another plan after that for us to go from 100 to 1,000. We're not staying at 16. And if I'm right, as I've been pretty good so far on our path to 16, if I'm right and I can take this thing along with you on this journey to $1,000 a coin, and Bitcoin is still 20 plus times larger than we are, that last seat on the rocket ship, it's not worth $1.60 a day. It's worth about $100 a day. And I want you to pinpoint this number in your mind. Okay, I know it still sounds fantastical, right? This whole thing felt impossible a year and a half ago. Look where we are today. Does what happened in the past indicate exactly what's going to happen in the future? No, we're learning, we're adjusting, we're making small changes and improvements as we learn. But if we keep working hard, I think we're going to get there. But look what happens if we get there, because it's a real nice, easy, round number. The last seat on the rocket ship costs you $1,000. It gets you 100 mega hash. If I'm right, and
Oh, come on.
take this thing to $1,000 a coin, 100 mega hash will be worth about $100 a day for the next 135 years. And that is something to actually get excited about. Why? Because $100 a day is enough money to live on for an individual. $100 a day is definitely enough money to live on if you're sitting on the beach in Thailand. But we've shown you an extremely simple path to go from 1 seat to 3 seats. Bring on 3 referrals. Bring on mom, dad, and the coworker, or sister, brother, and friend.
All right, that was a quick thing. I'm going to link that. I don't have the link in the description right now, but I'm going to link that little video into the description. But guys, these miners right now are just producing a few dollars a day. But as this project projects, continues to grow, what is possible really is kind of mind-blowing. Like right now, between my wife and I, we're at about 39 of these miners. And to think that that could be worth $100 a day per miner is something that I'm still even having trouble believing. $3,900 a day is an incredible amount of money, and it just doesn't seem possible. Even $100 token would give me $390 a day once the mine is all the way sold out. $390 a day, that's basically $12,000 a month in passive income. But guys, guess what? Bitcoin's been around for 15 years now. And when it was a year and a half old, there was people that bought it for $25, $50, $100 that never in their wildest imagination would have thought that it was going to be $100,000 token a handful of years later. Even just a few short years later, it was several $1,000s. So I understand, having been around this cryptocurrency, space for 10 years, what can happen. Now, like he said, there's no guarantees in life, but when we're talking about risk versus reward, $995 per miner in order to have the potential to make as much as $100 a day. I mean, if you just had one miner and this thing goes to $1,000 over the next handful of years, that would be a $3,000 a month passive income. For those of us in the United States, we're going to work our whole lives paying into Social Security. And I guarantee you, none of us are waking up at the end of towards the end of our lives with a $3,000 a month Social Security check. I don't know the exact statistics, so I could be way off on this, but I'm guessing that most people probably receive $1,500 to maybe $2,500 a month from Social Security. I don't know. I know that my parents weren't making anywhere near $3,000. I think my mom was getting $1,500 a month at 73 years old. She'd been, she took her retirement when she was 62, so it would have been a little bit more had she waited until she was 66. But I think it was about $1,500 a month, and I'm pretty sure that my father, same thing. He took his retirement at 62, so maybe it would have been a little bit more, but it was in the same ballpark. So it was nowhere near $3,000 a month. And as he mentioned, and I'm going to talk about that on that flip side, is you don't have to stay at one miner. There's multiple different ways that you can increase the number of miners that you have. You can refer people and earn extra miners. As you bring in money to the company and you start earning, affiliate commissions, you can take those commissions as miners. And then you can also upgrade, as Bill did. He just said, hey, 9's the max. Let me get 9. So he got 9 miners, and then the company gave him 2 free. So he started off with 11. So you have a lot of different ways that you can increase the number of miners. And that's why if some of you, especially, Dave P and Tim G, and some of you that are my normal, regular, loyal viewers, have thought I was just absolutely crazy over the last 3 months because TexitCoin is all I can seem to talk about. This is why. For those of you that are newer to TexitCoin, there's only going to be 1 million seats. There's only 1 million miners. Once they're gone, they're gone. And right now we're at over 200,000 of them have been sold. So there's around a little under 800,000 seats left. And it's projected that those seats will probably get sold out over the next handful of months, 3-4 months, before those million seats are gone. And then there are no more seats on the rocket ship. And so owning these miners could potentially just be absolutely life changing. And on the flip side, let's say that you spend $1,000 on a miner, or even $10,000 on, or $9,000 on 11 miners. And for some reason, 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road, this thing kind of peters out and it didn't go the way we hoped it would or that we expected it would. How bad off would you really be? Well, you probably would still be in profit mode with the price appreciation. Why do my phone gotta go off? Let me get this volume turned down. This is driving me crazy. Normally my phone is set to silent. I don't know how it got off of mute, but let me mute it again real quick. Crazy. Totally lost my train of thought. So, over the next handful of months, if you own miners now, you should be in a position to recoup your original investment as the price goes to 16. I'm going to also link a video in the description of this video called The Path to 16 and show you where the projected number is for this token over the next handful of months. And as this thing goes from a $3 or $4 token, which is where it's currently sitting, up to, a $16 plus token, all of us are going to have opportunities to recoup our initial investment. Because once again, if we go back over here to this description here, we're getting these tokens every single day. So if I wanted to, I could take these 15 tokens and, depending on if I caught it when we're high, the say $4 average, I could sell these tokens for, on an average, say of about $60 a day. So if I wanted to right now, I've already got, an $1,800 a month passive income coming in from these tokens roughly just at their current prices. So over the next 3, 4, 5 months, I shouldn't have any trouble recouping my initial investment if that's my goal. Now, full transparency for me, I'm just holding these tokens. I believe that we're going to see $16, $50, $100. So I'm in no hurry to be selling these tokens on a daily basis. But I have that ability to. They're sitting there right there in my wallet. I've shown it before. Maybe I'll show it a little bit later, but I've got a TexitCoin mobile wallet. Just like if you have a Coinbase or if you have a MetaMask and you've got tokens sitting on it, I can literally send the tokens from my phone over to one of 8 or 9 different exchanges and sell them and get the money over into my bank account in a matter of minutes. So I'm not investing in something that's pie in the sky. Maybe someday it will be worth something. Absolutely not. These tokens are worth what they're worth right now, and you can sell them every single day if you want to. So with that, guys, I'm going to run back over here and let's really get into some meat and potatoes. So a lot of you that are getting started in TexitCoin are little leery of sharing it with other people. You're trying to figure out the best way to talk to other people about this without what am I looking for? Like, you don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to feel like you're, trying to sell your friends and family stuff. It can be a little uncomfortable until you understand what you're really trying to accomplish. And so let's get into that a little bit, because I've seen it and I've heard it from several of you that are already TexitCoin miners. So this portion going forward is going to be for people that, are probably already have TexitCoin miners. These are people that are actually, building the business with me, that have some interest in the referral program, the affiliate plan, and so on and so forth. And I want to throw this up here on the screen. No pressure to anybody. But if you're watching this video and you see something that excites you and you would like to know more about this, or you're ready to jump in and get yourself a TexitCoin miner or 11, then shoot me a text or give me a call on my Infinite Crypto cell phone. This is not my normal phone. I'm not giving that out to the whole world, but this phone is designated just for Infinite Crypto. So if you have any questions about TexitCoin, or you would like to jump in and get a miner because you don't have one yet, feel free to hit me up on that phone number there. What is it? 725-275-8259. And but let's really get into it for the people that own TexitCoin miners. And the title to this video was, so you bought a TexitCoin miner, what's next? Well, here is kind of the what next. So I talk a lot about philosophy and a little about strategy. And I know that a lot of people wonder why that is. And really the reason for that, folks, is because in this day and age, you can get all of the information that you want. The how to do something has never been easier to find. But the 6 inches up here in between your brain or in between your ears, that's kind of the important part, because I can tell you what to do and how to do it all day long. But if I can't get you out of your head, if I can't get you away from the fear of rejection, if I can't talk you into understanding that, the things that you're worried about people telling you and saying to you, are kind of monsters under the bed, then it won't matter. I've had many of these conversations with people, and I'm telling them everything, and it goes like this. They're like, yeah, oh man, yeah, that sounds fantastic. Great. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Spend an hour talking about the how-to, and then we get off the phone and they're paralyzed by fear and they never talk to anybody. So it doesn't do you any good for me to teach you how until I can actually convince you to take what you're learning and actually put it into play. So one of the first things that we're going to do, and you might want to write this down. I forgot to mention a pen and paper, but today's definitely a great day for a pen and paper. And then we're also going to go, once again, this is going to be in chapters. So we're going to start here at about the 30 minute mark. I guess after 35 minute mark is going to be where we're going to get into names list. And so we're going to make chapters for this video so that you can watch this over and over and over if you want to. But the first thing that I want you to do for a names list is I want you to understand that you're not going to be successful in any business endeavor. It doesn't matter what it is if you only talk to 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 people. So the first thing that I want you to really wrap your mind around is that you want to share the TexitCoin videos with as many people as you can, as fast as you can. If you and I both start building our TexitCoin businesses today, and you talk to a person a day or every other day or once a week, you talk to a couple people, and I am consistently talking to 5 or 10 people every single day, I'm going to build momentum. Guys, it's kind of like a rocket ship. You know, when a rocket ship takes off from Earth, it takes an extreme amount of power to get that sucker the first couple 100 feet off the ground, but then it really takes off and goes smooth, and it takes very, very little energy to get it all the way to the moon compared to what it took just to get it off the ground. Any type of a business, not just TexitCoin, any type of a business that you decide to build is going to be like that. And so just embrace it. Know that the first few weeks, you're going to be pounding it. You're going to be talking to every single person that you can think of. And I want to go back to every time I talk about sharing TexitCoin, you hear me use that word share. Not once will you ever hear me say, go out and sell some TexitCoin miners. We're not here to sell anybody anything. What we're here is to share. What we're here to do is to share information and let those people that have a dream, let those people that are tired of their job, that don't like their boss, that are tired of going to the grocery store and having to decide between milk and hamburger because the prices of everything are so high. I mean, there are a lot of people, you guys probably see it in your social medias, people complaining about the price of gas, complaining about the price of food, complaining about the price of rent and mortgages. And, you know, life just continues to feel like it's getting more and more expensive because it is. And we have an answer. You know, it might sound kind of cliche, but if you had the cure for cancer and you knew a bunch of people that had cancer or that knew people that had cancer, what would you do to share that with those people? And, you know, yeah, it might hurt your feelings a little bit. If you know somebody that's got cancer and you go and share this cure with them and they tell you, oh, you're crazy, that won't work, I'm not interested, I can't afford it, all of the baloney that you're going to hear that stuff. I'm not here to tell you that it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows. You're going to get some people that don't see what we see. But guys, that's just part of life, and it's part of whatever you're doing, you know. And we go back, Henry Ford, everybody thought he was crazy when he came up with this idea for automobiles. Lewis and Clark, not Lewis and Clark. Who are the guys that now all of a sudden I can't remember the guys that flew for the first time? Maybe it was Lewis and Clark. That's crazy. It's been a while since I've been in school learning about that. But, you know, the people that created the airplane totally thought, people thought they were crazy. And it just continues to happen, even, the internet was poo-pooed on, and nobody thought that the internet was going to be that big of a deal. Nobody had any idea how it was going to revolutionize our lives. The internet, cell phones, back 50 years ago when cell phones were first created, only a handful of very, very, very wealthy, rich people had them. Nobody thought that they were going to be in every single person's hand. I mean, how many of you have a 7 or 8 year old niece or nephew or child that has a cell phone? It's crazy, right? I mean, I know my children started getting cell phones at probably 9, 10 years old, something like that. But my point is, we might not remember it right now, but 30, 40, 50 years ago, nobody had any idea. I shouldn't say nobody. See, there's a lot of people that became multi millionaires and billionaires in the cell phone industry, but not now. You're not going to go out and become a multimillionaire or a billionaire with cell phones. That opportunity has gone. Same thing in the automobile industry. Back in, 50, 100 years ago, there's a lot of people that became some of the richest people on earth because they got involved in the automobile industry when it was early and when it was going. And so the number one thing that I want you guys to really wrap your minds around when it comes to who am I going to share this with, write this in great big huge block letters on your notebook and write the word everyone. Like, there's nobody that that you shouldn't at least share the information with, and then let them decide. Once again, I loved a lot of aspects of my life, in the past, but just because because I enjoyed my profession and I did tell a handful of people about what I was doing, not everybody was interested. Bill, we were talking about Bill owns an extremely successful landscaping business. So if any of you need some landscaping, let me know. I'll get you in touch with Bill. It'd probably be pretty rare that you would live in the same area as him, but Bill owns an incredible landscaping business. If I went to Bill and tried to tell him, hey, you should become an electrician, there's nothing wrong with being an electrician, right? I also have a cousin who owns a big electrical company, building houses and wiring houses, but he doesn't want to go become a landscaper, and Bill doesn't want to go become an electrician. So you're going to have people that are in different areas of their life, and just because they're not interested in TexitCoin doesn't mean that TexitCoin isn't a great opportunity. Everybody can't be in TexitCoin, just like everybody can't own a landscaping business. If everybody on the planet right now decided they wanted to go become a landscaper, what would happen? Well, none of them would make any money, right? So you have to understand that not everybody is going to be interested in TexitCoin, even though we think they ought to be. But one of the cool things about TexitCoin, guys, is that you don't have to ask Bill to go become a TexitCoin, miner and work full time on TexitCoin. He can still run his landscaping business, where if you were to go to Bill and try to convert him over to an electrician business, he'd probably have to give up his landscaping business to go full time being in electric, where Bill can do this part time on a very spare time basis and still make extra money. And Bill really loves the passivity too. I mean, he's excited about building up his miners, but because Bill already has this amazing business that's creating cash flow, Bill's looking for places to put those finances that are going to make him more money. He understands that the goal of making money is not to pay bills. The goal of earning money, guys, is to create assets that spit off cash flow to you that can pay your bills. That's one of the biggest differences between the poor, the middle class, and the wealthy, is that the poor believes money is made to pay bills with. The middle class believes that money is to have fun with. The middle class are the ones that are going out buying the boats and buying the Sea-Doos, buying the four-wheelers, buying, the 2 or 3 cars, and really living it up. Most of the middle class, a lot of times they have a ton of debt. They got car payments, they got boat payments, they got house payments, they got payments, they got credit cards. They look good and it seems like they're doing okay in life, but if you were to really peel back the onion and look at their financial situation, normally they're in a very, very precarious situation. And most of the time on the outside, they look good and it seems like they're killing life to us. But if you really saw the stress that was going on in their life and wondering how they're going to cover this mountain of debt that they've gotten themselves into, the middle class are really hurting way more than you might think they are. And that's another good reason not to prejudge, because you might think that your buddy that's making $150,000 a year and has the nice house and has the Mercedes and the Jeep Rubicon sitting in the driveway, and he's got the camp trailer, he's got the big 30-foot long fifth wheeler, and he's got the pickup truck, and he's got the boat. You think he's doing pretty good. But when you look at his actual income versus outflow, he actually is still upside down. He's not making enough to pay everything, and that's why he's going into debt. Wealthy people, on the other hand, Bill, I can almost guarantee you that the majority of the money that he has coming in goes towards creating more money, real estate, crypto, stocks. He's got it all. And I'm glad that you're on here today, Bill, and I hope you don't mind me making an example of you. But Bill is a perfect example of somebody that started off in life and just worked hard but did the right things with his money. I don't actually know Bill's total story, what life was like for him at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25. But I can almost guarantee you that from a pretty young age, he was good with his money, and he took what he was making and he started creating assets with it. And that's what these TexitCoin miners are, is just creating an asset. So let's get back to how to do your names list. Number one, sit down and act like I'm standing behind you, and every time you write a name on a piece of paper, I'm handing you a $100 bill. $100 bill over and over and over for every name that you write. Don't prejudge. If you're sitting there writing names and all of a sudden, Uncle Joe comes to your mind, as soon as you say, oh no, I don't want to talk to him, he was negative about that other thing that I talked to him about, and blah, 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 I'm not going to share it with Uncle Joe. You just turned off the creativity in your mind. The other thing about that is, just because Uncle Joe wasn't, interested in Bitcoin doesn't mean he's not going to be interested in TexitCoin miners. There was a time in my life where I was so broke and so focused on other things in life that I wasn't interested in Bitcoin, but here I am now, fully immersed in crypto. So that's another thing. Like, I've heard a lot of people tell me, oh man, well, I've already told all of my family about crypto. I've told them about Bitcoin. They weren't interested. I don't want to talk to my family. Guys, that was 2 years ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. Circumstances have changed. If you talk to somebody about crypto, even 2 years ago, the landscape has totally changed, and the adoption is totally changed, and the amount of positivity that people are starting to see in the world about cryptocurrency is totally changing. Bitcoin being up at $100,000 a token for the last couple of years has changed a lot. And once again, I'm going to say this probably 10 more times, but once again, it's not your job to decide who's going to be interested. It's just your job to share the information. So write down as many names as you can. I recommend getting to 100, but a minimum of 50. And then what we're going to do once you have those 50 people written down is, how in the world are you going to share this with them? So let's get into that a little bit. So you got your names list. You didn't prejudge. You just wrote everybody down. And one more thing I'll say about the names list is, all of us are going to have 5 or 10 people that we call like our chicken list, like people that are so successful that we're scared to talk to them. Those are the best people on your list. It may or may not seem like it, but those are the best people on your list for a lot of different reasons. A, you don't got to worry about them telling you that they can't afford the miners. B, they're going to know a lot of other people that can afford the miners. And C, the people that they know are going to respect them. Part of the reason that Bill has done so amazing is because people respect him. They've seen the success that he's had in life. They see that he has 20 of these miners himself and he believes in it. So of course, it's not that hard for Bill to share this with other people and have them say, yeah, that sounds exciting. For some of us, if you're struggling in life, and you start sharing it with all of your friends that are struggling, A, they're going to keep telling you they don't have the money, and B, even if they do scrape together the 995, they're going to go share it with a bunch of people that don't have the money because, like birds of a feather flock together. And so you kind of want to break out of that. It's called sharing up. So rather than, you still want to share it with the people that are at your level, you still want to share it even with the people that are maybe not even doing quite as well as you in life. But I'm telling you, the faster you get to that chicken list and you start sharing this with the people that are actually doing better than you in life, the faster this thing will explode, because it's not all about who you know. It's all about who they know. See, Bill knows a lot of successful people. Bill is talking to a lot of incredible people. So yeah, Bill coming in and grabbing that 9-pack, getting started was fantastic. But what is really incredible is the 8 or 9 people that Bill has already brought into the program and continues to bring into the program. So that's the second thing, is let's just get your chicken list wiped out. The people that you know aren't going to be interested and that are too successful and that are going to, look down on this thing, you will be surprised at how many of them are going to be the exact opposite, because the more money they have, the more like Bill they are, and they're looking for opportunities to put that money into cash flowing, dividend producing assets. People that don't even know how they're going to buy groceries next week typically don't own any investments. It's not even on their mind. They would like to maybe someday. Those are there's a lot of maybe somedayers out there. You don't want to talk to the maybe somedayers. At least that shouldn't be your highest priority. You want to talk to the people that are already doing well in life. Yeah, we want to give everybody a chance to change their life with this. So talk to everybody, but I'm telling you, get focused on talking to the people that you're actually scared to talk to, and you'll be amazed at how fast this thing can explode for you. So let's get back over here to this screen, and I want to show you, I've got these 3 videos pulled up on the description of this video. So I want to share this with you real quick. The 4th one I don't have, but this is the first video that we're going to send to people here. It's called TexitIntro.com, TexitIntro.com. And the way that we're going to share this with people, let me see, pull up. So this is a website that was designed by some of the people that have been involved in TexitCoin even longer than me, and people that are doing incredibly well with TexitCoin. So this I don't have posted in the description, but I'm going to get it. It's digitalblessings.com. I think it's digitalteamblessings.com. It's just showing up as Digital Blessings here. But anyways, on this website, I've shared this with most of you that are part of my team. There's a little 9-minute video here. So if you are a miner, you own a miner, you're definitely going to want to watch this video. But real quick here, I am just going to try to pop this forward to, let's see here. I want to show you how easy this is to share with people. So I really like this here. So if you want to accumulate the most coins and earn some great weekly income, then you can start now and earn while you learn. I really like earning while you're learning. You don't have to be an expert in order to share this. So this says, this is not a substitute for our detailed coaching. You will learn over time, but no need to wait to begin sharing. People you know will hear about this soon enough. That's something else, guys. I've had multiple people in the last 3 months since I jumped into this that weren't on my mind initially, and say after the first couple of months, finally somebody popped into my head. But guess what? It was too late. Let me make sure that I'm sharing the right tab here. Let me double check. Yeah, so I don't know if I was sharing that originally, but let's make sure, now we got it. Now we got it going. And I'm going to, for any of you that wanted to call or text me, you probably did so by now. So let me get rid of this banner so that that's not distracting you. And then let's get back over here to Team Digital Blessings in this video. So my point is that if you don't share it with people, somebody else is gonna. As I showed you a little bit earlier, there's 55,000 individuals that own miners now. If those 55,000 people go share it with 3 or 4 or 5 people, now there's all of a sudden 250,000 more people that have heard about it. And then they share it with 5 people and you're up into the millions. And then you've got people like me that are sharing it out. This video is going to get viewed by, probably several thousand people. And then there's Zooms going on every day of the week where people are inviting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people to Zooms. My point is maybe nobody that has heard about TexitCoin yet, but if you don't share it with them, they're gonna hear about it. And so you want to make sure that you share it with them, because even if right now isn't good timing, in 2 months from now, when the price has gone from $3 or $4 to 10 or 12, all of a sudden they might get excited. And if they get excited about TexitCoin, you want them coming back to you, because most people are going to be loyal to the first person that actually shared it with them. And then once again, this is so important. You don't care if they do it or not. You do care that they know about it. And then let's see here. So this is how we're going to share it. So it talks about the contact list here. And I recommend all of you, Dave P, Tim G, Bill, all of you that are watching this that actually own miners, go to this digitalblessingsteam.com. I'll get you the link and watch this 9-minute video after I'm done here. Who do you contact? Everyone. I've already talked about that. I probably should have had this up. Everyone deserves to hear about this. Aren't you glad that somebody contacted you? Obviously, if you're watching this and you own miners, you're glad that somebody shared the miners with you. So how to do it? We're going to get in here. So it says you can talk to people in person, phone, text, email, social media. Text may be the most duplicatable and safest. And I agree. Most of my people that I've contacted originally has been through text messages. And I hope you guys can see this. If you can't, then go back and watch this video on your own. But this is how easy it is. You just send somebody a message that says, hey, Mike, I just saw an amazing 5-minute video and I had to share it with you. Check it out and then let's talk. And then you put the link to the video. You put the link to this texitintro.com into the text. So that's simple. You don't got to message somebody, hey, Mike, I just came across this amazing investment and it involves cryptocurrency and you're buying these miners and they cost $995 and blah, 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 blah. Because Mike is going to text you back and he's going to say, I'm not interested, because he's going to prejudge. And because he's just, like if you try to say too much to somebody, you're not going to get them to watch the video. You got to act as if, I want to get back here real quick. This is important. I want you to act as if you're just a professional get clicks type of a person. Your goal is not to get them to buy a TexitCoin miner. Your only goal is to get them to watch the video. So just like with a good movie, if you went and saw a good movie recently, you didn't go back to your friends and family and tell them the whole movie. You didn't sit there for a half an hour saying, you got to go watch this movie. First, when it first started, this happened and this happened and this happened. And then the guy got upset about it. And so he went and did this and this and this. And then there was this bad guy and he, and then he trained and blah. Like, can you imagine telling somebody the story about Rocky and going all the way through and telling them that, man, it was an incredible movie, but unfortunately he lost in the end? But don't worry, Rocky 2 is going to come. And then in Rocky 2, he wins. Like, no, you would just say, dude, you got to go see this new movie called Rocky. It's amazing, man. What an incredible, fantastic story. You got to go watch it for yourself, man. My wife and I have gone and seen it 3 times. Go to the movie theater and go see Rocky, right? Well, it's the same thing, same principle with this. You don't go tell everybody, like, don't be like, hey, man, I just came across this investment and it's going to make us millions and it involves crypto and it involves mining and blah, 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 because nobody, for the most part, understands what crypto and mining is. So once again, you're going to send them to this little video right here, this 5-minute intro video, texitintro.com. Your only goal in life, your job is to send as many people to this video as possible and actually get them to watch it. Now, once people have watched this video, there's another great video. If they have some questions, if they, want to know more, there's two things that you probably that I would suggest that you do. Once they've watched that first video, if they tell you anything but how do I sign up, then you should probably introduce them to me. Like if you're on my team, if you're watching this video and you're on my team, if you came into TexitCoin through me personally or through somebody that I brought in, then feel free to, I'll give every one of you that are on my team my real phone number, and you're welcome to introduce me to people all day long and have me answer their questions and get to know them. The second thing, if they aren't quite sure, then you want to send them to this video, which is, I believe, the TexitPassiveIncome.com. It's also in the description. Wait a minute, I didn't click on it. This one here, and then let me share this. So this one here, once again, another like 10, 15 minute video. What is it here? I'm trying to see how long it is. Looks like it's a little bit, no, this one's a little short one too, 5-6 minutes. This shows them the miners and what this could create in their life form. So if they still have some questions after watching the first video, then send them to this video. And then once they've been sent to this video, then they're going to either going to tell you three things. They're going to say, hey, how do I get started? Thanks for sharing it with me, but I'm not interested. It's not for me. Or they're going to say, hey, it looks great, but right now isn't the perfect timing for me. I might be ready to go in a month or two. And that's great. And if they say any of those three things, if they say they're ready to go, then we're going to get them enrolled and get them however many miners they want. If they say this isn't for me, you're going to say, hey, great, no worries. But then I still recommend that you drip on them every once in a while. When this thing jumps from $3 or $4 to $5 or $6, I'm sending them a picture. Say, hey, man, I know that you said that this wasn't for you, but the token's up, 33% in the last month. I really feel like you're missing out. Just wanted to say hello. We'll talk again soon. And just leave it at that. Sometimes they'll message you back and be like, wow, 33% in the last month. Maybe I need to take a closer look at this. Or they might just say, hey, thanks for sharing. Still not interested. And then in another month, it's up to $8 or $9 and you share it again. And you're like, man, you could have jumped in this when it was $4. Now it's $9. And eventually even people that weren't interested potentially will become interested, because one of the things that I do want to make clear is, as much as I love Mr. Bill here, what is he saying here? Thanks for the input, Brad. You don't have to give my number because I can't fly out there to do the landscaping, but I appreciate the spot. Amen. But like even in Bill's case, guys, I jumped in on August 22nd. Bill didn't jump in until about 3 weeks ago. So, I dripped on Bill and I talked to Bill, but Bill didn't just jump in the first time that I talked to him about it. In fact, I got a decent, amount of resistance with the market, the way that it's been, and things have been getting crushed off and stuff. I mean, and I don't blame him, but it took a long time, Somebody else that took a long time, Mr. Dave P. Dave P did not jump in and become a TexitCoin miner right off the bat. Took a little while. I had to, keep on dripping on him, but we were friends the whole time. Every time I would share some more information with him, he'd just say, hey, thanks, Brad, but not right now. Hey, thanks, Brad, but not right now. Hey, thanks, Brad, but not right now. And that's okay. So you're going to go through this digital team blessing here. I'm going to pop this back up. And then once again, let me pop over here to my trusty little, there we go. So I'm going to pop this into the chat, guys. And for all of you that are already miners, please, if you haven't watched this yet, watch this video. Watch this video when we're done. It's like 9 minutes. And you'll be able to see most of the stuff that I'm sharing here on a much better basis. And so watch this video, copy this down here. Once again, hey, Mike, I just saw an amazing 5-minute video and had to share it with you. Check it out and then let's talk. And then insert the video. Number 2, real quick, if these people, after you send them this text message, say, hey, what's it all about? That's going to happen sometimes. Not everybody's just going to say, okay, and go watch the video. Some people are going to message you back and say, hey, Brad, what's this video all about? This is where you make or break yourself. If you text them back and say, oh man, it's about this investment, it's about this cryptocurrency project, it's about passive income, it's about miners, blah, blah, blah. Once again, you probably just blew it. If somebody asks you, hey, what's this all about? You say, hey, Mike, I can't really explain it to you. That's why I sent you the video. It's 5 minutes long. Go check it out and then we can talk. Give absolutely as little of information as possible until you get them to watch the video. Once again, it's like once I've watched Rocky and you've watched Rocky, then we can have an intelligent conversation and go back and forth about what our favorite parts were and what we liked. But until both of us have watched the whole movie, we'd be wasting our time trying to talk about it. So that is, basically a very brief introduction onto how to get started. But guys, I promise you, if you will watch this Digital Team Blessings home screen video, and then you will go and start sharing with other people. And then I wanted to give you one other. So this is for people that you really know, love, and care, and that know, love, and care about you. These are your family and good friends, your coworkers, people that you see and talk to on a, somewhat regular basis. If you've got people that are more like acquaintances, this is what we're going to do here. We're going to, I don't know if you guys can see that. That's why it's important for you to go watch this video yourself, and you can take better notes. But if you're talking to somebody that maybe you haven't talked to for a while, like you haven't talked to your uncle or your cousin, or maybe you got, somebody that you've been friends with for, since high school, but you only talk every, once a year or once every 2 or 3 years you talk, it would be kind of weird to just come out of the blue and say, hey, Mike, I just saw this amazing 5-minute video and had to share it with you. Check it out and let's talk. But this is what you would say. Hey, Mary, I'm sorry we haven't connected in a while, but I do have something huge that I want to share with you. I'm not sure if you'll be interested, but I know in my heart it'll be worth the 5 short minutes of your time to watch it right now. And then let's catch up soon and insert the video. Now, guys, you can tweak this for your own personality, for your own style. But once again, you can see in this one too, hey, Mary, I know we haven't seen each other, for a few years, but I have something huge that I want to share with you. I'm not even sure if you'll be interested, but I know in my heart, it'll be worth 5 short minutes of your time. Watch this video right now. You notice that there wasn't one word. I didn't use the word investment. I didn't use the word crypto. I didn't use the word miner. I didn't use the word TexitCoin. I didn't use anything that would cause Mary to prejudge the video. So I would recommend, even if you've talked to some people that aren't interested, maybe trying this approach. It may or may not work, but there's some of you watching this video that have probably tried to talk to a handful of people, but you tried to either explain it yourself, or when you were trying to share the video with them, you put in that investment, TexitCoin, miner, crypto, you put some of that verbiage into your message, and then you just got a text back that said, thanks, but I'm not interested. Well, guys, they can't not be interested if they haven't even looked at the information. They're like, what if the video said, hey, we just, won $1 billion in the lottery, and we're giving out, $1,000 bills to everybody that watches this video and says it's interested. Obviously that would be a scam, but what if it wasn't? What if you actually knew somebody that won the lottery and they said, hey, here's $100,000. I want you to give it out to 100 of your friends, but you can't just call them up and say, hey, I got good news. You gotta, I'm gonna give you $1,000. No, you have to be secretive about it. You have to get them to watch a couple of videos, and then once they've watched those videos, you're gonna give them the $1,000. And you can't say anything about why they need to watch the video other than it's exciting and that they need to check it out. And then basically, you know, this is another great way to screen people, because if somebody isn't willing to take 5 minutes of their time, 5 minutes of their life to watch this video, then you probably don't want them involved in your TexitCoin business anyways. So, you know, with that, guys, so much for trying to keep things down to about 10 minutes. We're at over an hour. I'm going to, you know, pretty much, I'm going to do one more quick thing here real fast, and then we're going to get out of here. And then I realize I'm going to have to continue doing more of these videos, because obviously there's more steps to the process, but this would get 99% of you that have watched this video would be ready to get started and actually really be able to share this with 50 or 100 people fairly quickly now, where a lot of you that are watching have probably shared this with nobody to maybe 5 or 10 people, and you haven't had any success yet. And I would just say, hey, that's normal. Like, I have shared TexitCoin with 300, 400 people at this point in order to do what I've created. But how many people are you willing to talk to create $1,000 a week, $3,000 a week, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 a week in passive in income to go along with the passive income that your miners are creating? And so the last video, when you're in this process, this normally doesn't get shared until somebody is interested in actually and becomes a miner. But once people become a miner, you really want them to take a look at this third video, which is the Rapid Rewards Program. And I think it's TexitWeeklyIncome.com. Once again, it's in the description of this video. All 3 of these videos are in the description so that you can use them, get them copied and pasted somewhere. But this little 15-minute video here shows the compensation plan and how you can actually make money by having these miners referring miners. So the last thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to do this very fast. And I know that a lot of you are thinking, yeah, sure, you don't do anything fast, but I'm going to go back to this page, and I apologize. I wish I could make this black, because I know it's hard to see. It's kind of blinding when you're on this and you see all of that white. Let me see here. What's that? Can you sell a miner after you buy it? Great question, Dr. Crypto. At this point, there's 1 million seats. There's 1 million miners. And so we've sold the company, and all of the affiliates have sold a little over 200,000 of the seats. At this point in time, they're not sellable or transferable yet. But in the next handful of months, as we sell the miners out, when we get to 1 million miners sold, then it will become transferable and sellable at some point. So if you decide that, hey, man, I paid $1,000 for this miner, and now because the token is worth this much, these miners are worth $10,000, you could sell your miner if you have somebody that is interested in buying it, just not quite yet. Good question, though. Absolutely fantastic question. So I'm going to go back over here to this screen, and I want to share with you guys a little bit more about the affiliate plan. And now I know this is hard to see. I'm going to try to blow it up as much as you can, as much as I can. But I want to show. So one of the things I want to talk about real quick, because there's a lot of people that say, oh, well, this sounds like a network marketing, multi-level marketing. And I want to share with you a couple of reasons why it's not. Number one, most multi-level marketing or network marketing companies, in order to make money and be profitable, you have to recruit other people. There's monthly requirements. There's things that you have to do. With this, you're just buying a miner. And if you never want to share this with anybody, you can just take the rewards from these miners for the next 130 plus years. You never have to tell a soul. The other thing about this, guys, and I want to make this super, super clear, and I don't want to get you guys confused, so I'm not going to show you my spot. I want to come over here. I want to show you my son. So Joshua Varnell here is my son. He got started back when I got started. And let me pull this up again here. So this is the team, part of the team that has been built underneath my son, Joshua Varnell. Well, Josh just finally got his first $1,000 commission this last week because, you know, he's 19 years old. He got in, he bought a miner, but he never really started sharing it with people. But this is kind of the power of jumping in. So Josh jumped in, and then I shared this with Chad. Chad jumped in and bought 9 miners, and I had to put Chad somewhere, so I put him here underneath Josh. And then Chad, well, then technically, you know, I found, you know, my good friend, Dr. David Bertner. This another person that's doing incredibly well in life, making, I don't even know how much money, but a ton. He's a doctor, super, super successful. He bought miners for him. He bought miners for his wife. But all of this was growing underneath my son, even though he wasn't doing any of the work. And you can see that my son, this left leg just, you know, kept growing and kept growing and kept growing. And hey, Mr. Dave P., you're going to see a bunch of people getting put underneath Mr. Dave P. And so anyways, though, but my son, my point is, my son can make up to $3,000 a week. But that's the most that my son can make, is $3,000 a week. And the way that my son does that is by getting 3 points over here on the left and 3 points over here on the right. So he jumped in on August 31st and he just made his first 1,000, but that's because he wasn't working. When he rolled up his sleeves and started working, William here is my son's best friend. So finally, my son got William excited, and William came in and bought a miner. And now William talked to his dad. You can see their names are exactly the same. Well, that's because William here is William T's son. So William talked to William T, and William actually signed up William T, not my son. Then I came in, and we have a friend from church that we really care about. And, you know, my buddy Derek, he jumped in and I put him there. And then we had this is another one of my son's friends. And so this is starting to grow now. And my son got 3 points here last week. And he had 9 points over here from what I had built. So my son got $1,000. But look at this. My son's already just 2 points away from another $1,000. He's already got 6 points here. As soon as he gets 3 points here, he makes another $1,000. But the cool thing is, whether my son brings in somebody that buys a miner, or if William brings in somebody, or William brings in somebody, or Derek or Jose, it doesn't matter. If any of them bring in somebody that wants to buy miners, those points flow up. But my key point, and the reason I want to share that this isn't network marketing, is because my son, even though he's way up here, he can only make $1,000 a week. So even though my son actually is above Chad here has made multiple thousands of dollars because Chad went to work and started referring people. You can see here, if we expand Chad's right leg, Chad is responsible for all of this. Chad brought in Carrie and Frank and Grace and Thomas and Kyle and Alexandria and Megan. All of these people are because of Chad and his efforts. So because Chad went out and did all of this work to go along with some of the work that I was doing underneath him, Chad has made thousands of dollars through the referral program, where my son, even though my son got started quicker, you can see here, my son didn't get his first person on his own until 11/8. So my son jumped in on September 1st, was it, or August 31st, and didn't get a person until November. But the cool thing is, he's still making money now. So even though it didn't take off and he didn't start crushing it immediately, he definitely is doing now. And then I do want to show this once again. This is not to impress you, but just to show you. You guys may or may not be able to see this, but this is just one of my positions, and you can see these are my weekly commissions. Since I got started back in August, it took me roughly a week. I got started August 22nd. My first commission was August 31st. So basically 1 week in, I was able to create a $3,000 commission. And then this doesn't add up to everything that I've made because I actually have 3 different positions. So I'm not going to go into that right now, but if you buy a 9-pack and get the 2 free, you actually get 3 profit centers. So where my son can only make $3,000, I'm in a position where if I max it out, I could make up to $9,000 a week. But once again, my point is, like, I'm here, I have the potential to make $9,000 a week. I mentioned, Bill. So if we go over here and we go down here and find Bill also got the 9-pack. So you can see that Bill also has the ability to make up to $9,000 a week. So even though I started, 3 months before Bill, and even though I have all of the rest of these, these people, this is just a very small portion of my family tree. You come out here to this side, there's just people everywhere. Even though I have all of these people, I probably have 125 people that have branched out, and Bill has, 10 or so. Bill is still in a position to make $9,000 next week. And if I didn't do any more work, I may or may not make any money. So Bill could make $9,000 next week, and I might only make $1,000. And so that's another important part. If people think that you're sharing this with them just to use them to make money, it's absolutely not true. In order to make any money for yourself, you have to help the people on your team make money. My whole goal is to help you guys make a ton of money. If you guys that are jumped in with me are all making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a week, then I make money too. If I'm not helping anybody to make any money, then I'm not going to make any money either. I hope that makes sense. Sorry, my eyes. Let me throw, maybe, where in the world? Oh, here we go. Let me throw my glasses on. So I'm going to go ahead and pretty much stop the presentation there. Doesn't look like we have any more questions. Oh, not a financial advisor. So TexitCoin was Bobby Gray, the founder of TexitCoin, thought this up in about January of 2024. So we're closing in on a couple of years since the idea was formed. I don't think he actually started the mine and building the mine and everything until more like April or May of 2024. So about a year and a half that this project has been running, Dr. Crypto. Not a financial advisor. So another fantastic question, man. Appreciate you being on here. And once again, for any of you that maybe, had never heard about TexitCoin and you want to know more information, I recommend run to the description in this video and just watch those 3 videos that I've got there. Once you've watched those 3 videos, you'll know whether this is something that would be exciting for you, if you'd be interested. If you are, feel free to get back in touch with me. I'll throw my phone number up here one more time. But real quick, folks, I also want to say this. I should have probably said it sooner. I'm going to probably have my editor do a little editing on this video, not really edit anything in or out, but I want him to add a couple of things. So one of the things that I want to say right now that's super important is, if you're watching this video because of me, wonderful, get in touch with me. But if you're watching this video because somebody else gave you the link and wanted you to see this, please get back in touch with the person that shared this with you. I am not here to steal other people's friends and family. So if you're watching this video because somebody else gave you the link, 1000% get back in touch with that person, buy a miner through that person. odds are they're probably affiliated with me anyways, and I'm still going to be here to help you, whether I personally sell you the miner or whether Bill or Dave P or Tim G or any of the other people that are on here. The Wright brothers, thank you. The Wright brothers created the airplane, but it doesn't matter who sells you the miner. This business, this opportunity has incredible support where you're going to get everything that you need to be successful with this company, no matter who helps you get started. So once again, please, please, please go back to the person that shared this link with you, that originally talked to you about TexitCoin. And if you don't have somebody, if you just came to this video, obviously like YouTube suggested it, or somehow you just landed on this video through YouTube or some other social media source, then please feel free to give me a call or text me at that number below. But otherwise, get in touch with everybody else. And with that, guys, I went a little bit longer than I wanted to try to keep this video to an hour. I didn't quite make it, but hopefully this was educational for you and at least pointed you in the right direction. Once again, the description of this video is going to have a couple more. It's going to have that little short video that I showed you talking about if the video gets to $1,000. I'm going to put the digital team blessings in the in the description. But once again, this will hyperlink you there now. So if you want to go check that out now and see the other videos, but I'll definitely get a few more links. Dave P says, thank you, Brad. TXC Rocket Countdown. Amen. Guys, those of us that have really seen the vision are super, super excited. Bobby Gray, the founder of this company, is an amazing man. He believes in honest money. The reason that TexitCoin exists is because he understands that our government just continues to print trillions of dollars at whim. They continue to devalue our dollar. One of the things that financial literacy will teach you is the reason that your hamburger and your milk and your gas and everything feels so expensive, partially because the price is going up, but it's also because the value of the dollar is going down. And hard assets like silver, real estate, gold, Bitcoin, and TexitCoin are going to revolutionize the financial space. And people that are exposed to some of these honest money, these hard assets that are a hedge against this incredible inflation that our government is continuing to create for us, that is continuing to burden us with. The government just keeps getting richer and richer. It's us, the middle class and the poor, that bear the burden of, get the brunt of all of this, dollar printing. And so, folks, the way that you can insulate your life against what is happening on the outside is by getting some money invested in silver, gold, Bitcoin, real estate, TexitCoin miners. And, one of the reasons that I'm a big proponent of crypto is because you can carry hundreds of millions of dollars in crypto in a little flash drive, in a wallet. I can travel right now across the world and have access to all of my funds. I was just watching a video the other day where the DEA and different people at airports, they find people with money, and even though it's totally legit, like I heard a story about a guy that was traveling from one state to another state to buy a big truck for his business. He even had documentation with the seller and all of the terms laid out. And so he had seal wrapped $55,000 and was taking it, say, from Florida to New York, because he was going to buy this truck and then drive it back. And somehow he got flagged and they searched him. And even though everything was legit, and even though he had all of the proof of why he had that $55,000 with him, it got seized. And then it's on you to pay to get it back. Like, they seize it and then they just hope that you don't do about it. I don't know if you guys have heard any of those crazy stories, but it happens way more than you might think. And as you create wealth and as you want to travel and you want to do things, and maybe you might want to live outside the country, there's a lot of different reasons why you want to have access to your funds. Guys, with crypto, You can carry hundreds of millions of dollars if you wanted, and it's not seizable. Nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can steal it from you. And it's crazy that our own government is stealing citizens' money. And that's just one little reason why it's important. The other one is, once again, like if you look at the price of Bitcoin, say 10 years ago, and you look at how much a Bitcoin was worth and what you could buy for it versus how much a dollar was worth and what you could buy for it. And now you go do that today, it's astronomical. Like back 10 years ago, say, $100 Bitcoin would have bought you a grocery cart full of groceries. Now that same $100 in fiat would maybe buy you, a fourth of a cart of groceries. But that $100 Bitcoin is now worth $90,000, and you could buy all of the groceries that you ever wanted to almost. Well, guys, you missed out on Bitcoin in the beginning. Now Bitcoin is a asset that the whole world believes in, and it's still a great investment. There's absolutely, I want you guys to be buying some Bitcoin, but TexitCoin is an opportunity to get involved in a bit like a Bitcoin type asset in the beginning. And so once again, guys, there's no guarantees where this is going to go, but I'm super excited about it. And I thank you for spending an hour and a half of your time with me. Your most valuable asset, your most valuable resource is your time. So I really appreciate you listening to me for an hour and a half about this. And once again, I'll throw links in the description too. You can reach out to me, DM me on Twitter, DM me on Telegram, DM me, really those two places. I was going to say DM me on Discord, but Discord's probably the hardest place to get in touch with me. And really the fastest thing to do is just text me here at 725-275-8259. So with that, guys, God bless. Appreciate each and every one of you. And we will see you again very soon. Oh, I can't get off. So last but not least, for all of my regular viewers, glad this is at the end because it's the diehards that are still here. Two things that I want to mention real quick. Apologize. I acted like we were going to get off the stream, and then I got one more couple little note things to tell you. Number one, for those of you that were a little worried about me, I got some messages last week because of my comment about not feeling well and hopping off the stream. I want to let all of you guys know that I'm feeling fantastic. I was a little bit more nervous about myself than I let on last week. I was kind of nervous. And after I got off the live stream, I was really contemplating whether or not I should go to the emergency room or not. I ultimately decided not to, but I did do a few things. One of the things that I changed is I'm doing intermittent fasting again. So I immediately, after that live stream, I went to only an 8-hour eating window to give my body some rest. While we've been here in Colorado and at the hotel, I was eating pretty early in the morning and then having snacks and eating all the way until late at night, which is not my normal mode of operation. But so I went back in, and now I'm eating from noon till 8. That's part of the reason that I just got black coffee. Like I'm not even getting my sugar-free Golden Eagle in the morning because that would break my fast. So the first thing, back to an 8-hour window. I'm eating from noon to 8. That made a huge difference. I also cut out 90% of the carbs and all of the sugar. So here in Colorado, you're on vacation, you're eating out every meal. I was not eating properly. I was having too many sweets and way too many carbs. So I totally cut out the sweets, and I totally cut out 90% of the carbs. And I feel amazing, even just after, that was last, Wednesday? So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like 5 days later, I feel like $1 million. For those of you that were worried about me, a few of you even reached out to me, Tim G and a couple of others, Ryan. I don't know if you're on here, Ryan, but anyways, man, a few of you that reached out to me, I want to just say I appreciate your love, man, and I'm doing great. Last but not least, my doctor or my wife and I have doctor's appointments tomorrow and Wednesday. These are the final 2 days. For those of you that have been following our journey, these are the final 2 days before implantation, before the transfer, where we're going to be trying to have a baby. So tomorrow's an important day where they're getting everything ready in the morning. We're doing a couple of procedures that make it the most likely that the procedure on Wednesday takes. And then Wednesday morning, we're going in and we're going to have 2 beautiful embryos that look amazing, implanted, transferred into my wife on Wednesday morning. And hopefully by Christmas time, I'll be able to tell you guys that we are pregnant, that I'm going to be a father come August or September of next year. Having said that, the live streams for tomorrow aren't going to happen unless they happen later in the day, but I don't know exactly how long and what is going to happen. I don't know how my wife is going to be feeling after the procedures, so I want to make sure that I'm very present and there to take care of her and, be there for every whim, every whatever, if she wants peanut butter and mayonnaise, whatever she wants, I want to be there for her. So I'm just going to say that there's probably not going to be a live stream tomorrow or Wednesday, but then on Thursday, I'm going to get back together with you guys and kind of give you an update about how everything is. So hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and if I can do something tomorrow in the afternoon or evening, I will. But try not to be too upset with me if you don't see me again until Thursday. With that, folks, I love you once again. Thanks for being here. Hope it was valuable for you, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now.